Hi friends! Alright, we're going to read our next chapter. This is chapter 22, The Three Erics. In Mrs. Jewell's class, there were 3 children named Eric. Eric Fry, Eric Bacon, and Eric Ovens. They were known throughout the school for being fat. Eric Fry sat at his end of the room, Eric Bacon sat in the middle of the room, and Eric Ovens sat at the end of the room. There was a joke around Wayside School that if all 3 Erics were ever to sit at the same end of the room at the same time, the whole school would tip over. Eric Bacon hated jokes. Jokes like that. That's not surprising. After all, he wasn't even fat. In fact, he was the skinniest kid in Mrs. Jewell's class, but nobody seemed to notice. The other 2 Erics were fat, and so everyone just thought that all Erics were fat. But I'm not fat, Eric Bacon insisted. What's your name? Asked John. Eric, said Eric Bacon. Then you're fat, Jason concluded. And pretty soon, skinny little Eric Bacon, the skinniest kid in Mrs. Jewell's class, had the nickname Fatso. That's horrible. Eric Fry really was fat. He also was the best athlete in Mrs. Jewell's class. His body was solid muscle. However, nobody ever noticed. The other 2 Erics weren't very good at sports. Eric Ovens was clumsy. Eric Fatso Bacon was a good athlete for his size, but because he was so skinny, he didn't have much power. So naturally, everybody just assumed that Eric Fry was also clumsy and weak. After all, his name was Eric. Whenever the other kids chose up teams, Eric Fry was the last one picked. They never noticed his home runs or the fabulous catches he made. Like all great athletes, he made the impossible look easy. Of course, the other kids did notice the one time that he did drop the ball. Eric Fry was playing right field. Terrence belted a deep fly to the left. Eric Fry raced all the way across the field after the ball and, at the last second, dived at it. He caught it in midair with his fingertips, but as he hit the ground, the ball squirted loose. Well, what do you expect from Butterfingers? Said Stephen, and since that time, Eric Fry has had the nickname Butterfingers. Eric Ovens was the nicest person in Mrs. Jewell's class. He treated everyone equally and always had a kind word to say. Wow, I love him already. Be kind. But because his name was Eric, everybody thought he was mean. Fatso was mean because everybody called him Fatso. Butterfingers was mean because he always had to play right field. So naturally, everyone just assumed that Eric Ovens was also mean. They called him Crabapple. Good morning, Allison, said Eric Ovens. How are you? Lay off, Crabapple, will ya? Answered Allison. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything nice at all. All 3 Erics had nicknames. It was better that way. Otherwise, when someone said, hey Eric, no one would know whom he was talking to. One time, all the Erics would answer, and the next time, none of them would answer. But when someone said, hey, Crabapple, and then Eric Ovens knew they were talking to him. And if someone said, hey, Butterfingers, Eric Fry knew they meant him. And when someone said, hey, Fatso, Eric Bacon knew that he was being called. Bye, guys. Hope to see you at the teacher parade. Or if we did see each other, yay!